You have 6 to 8 months left of this bull market. And I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, I've been here 2017, I've been here 2020, 2021, I've seen it all, made it all, lost it all. I am telling you now that you have 6 to 8 months in a good case scenario from this bull market. And Happy New Year, everybody. I'm sorry to shock you with this. You might be still drunk, or you might just, happily. If you are like me, waking up in the morning, doing a cold plunge and whatever on the 1st of January, well, congratulations. But this is going to be one of the most important video you're going to watch probably in January. Not a lot of people will tell you this, and not a lot of people will talk about it, but I think it's crucial because when I've been here in 2016 and 2017, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2016. I'm going to talk about it in a second. And I fumbled. I made 25 whatever X within less than a year, and I fumbled all of it. And 2021 bull market, I did very, very, very similar. Instead, I made 75X, but I lost it all. This time, I'm not losing all, okay? This time is different because I am very strategic on my approach, and I dedicated my life to helping you guys navigate the market because I know how horrible it is to lose everything and just not make it. And I want you to make it. And when I say you have 6 to 8 months left, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Obviously, if we have more because of Trump and all that, fine. But I want to prepare for the worst, and I want to prepare for reality. And reality is, again, you have 6 to 8 months. And in this show, I'm going to show you exactly what my exit strategy is going to be. When am I going to start scaling out? And I'm also going to show you why this can be one of the biggest opportunities to make generational wealth, and how would I treat it if I had no money at all, or if I would just have my first run, this run. So if this sounds good, guys, I would appreciate if you smash the like button, smash the share button as well, like button, smash every button that you can see on YouTube except the exit, because you need this. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe. I bring you the best alpha every single day. News from the past 24 hours, news for the next 24 hours, updates on the market, and much more, trades. So if this sounds good, make sure to follow me on X as well. I update you on everything over there. Now, it's very important. I don't want to spend a lot of time on explaining why I think the market is going to go ballistic, but if you don't follow my content, I talk about this all the time, but if you don't follow my content, just a very short recap. We are coming on to the year after the halving. The year after the halving is always extremely bullish, and now we have it spiced up with a lot of macro factors. For example, global liquidity. For example, Trump presidency. So that there is a lot of things that is happening right now that will inject liquidity into the market, create certainty in the crypto industry, and therefore contribute to what we usually see after the halving year, which is a parabolia on the market. Now, if you look, for example, at Ethereum, which obviously we're waiting for the massive altcoin rally. Bitcoin had its run, which is great, but we're really waiting for this massive Bitcoin altcoin run. And if you look at 2017, 1 year after the halving, Ethereum did 518%. If you look at 2021, 1 year after the halving, Ethereum did 160% in Q1. In between January and March, okay? And then in Q2, Ethereum did 453%. And then in Q2 in 2021, it did 19%. So, but all quarters were up for Ethereum and most alts. But, and this is the big but, it's not always this easy, because a lot of, even though, for example, it's 18% or it's 22%, that doesn't mean that you can't still buy the top and you can still try to sell the bottom. So if you look, why do I think, again, very shortly, why do I think, and among other things, why the massive parabolic run is just about to start? And when I say just about to start, it doesn't mean it's going to start tomorrow. We might have a 20% drop, as I tweeted about it. I explained to you everything on my X account, why I think that is. I posted charts and much more. There's a link in the description to my X profile. But there is this data, for example, why the parabolia will start very, very soon, within weeks, right? 245 days after halving, we usually see the first massive or the massive alt rally after the halving year. So if you look at others, I did this analysis here, and after the 2016 halving, it took about 245 days to get to this point, which was basically the bottom. This is basically the bottom after the consolidation, and then the others. This is basically the others chart, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, has run up 50,000%. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the same scenario here, but we see a very similar picture in 2020 and 2021. So 245 days after the halving, we have seen a massive parabola, about 500%, and after the echo bubble that we have seen in 2021 until November, seen another 600%. So 245 days is actually here. So we are at the 245 days mark. My chair is like going nuts here. So we are at 245 days right now. So that means that this here, and this here is this here. So if I project all this, and I just take a ghost chart here and just see where we could be potentially heading, obviously gains are diminishing and whatever, it could happen. But if we're looking at this, we're at 334 billion on others. We're looking at least 673 billion, at least 673 billion. But I'm rather thinking a trillion because of all the macro factors. But we still have at least another 100, 200, 300% on the others, which is, again, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum. That means that some tokens can run thousands of percentages. You just have to know which tokens to get in and which tokens to leave out, and when to get out of the tokens that you get into. Now, what tokens to get in? I'm talking about it every single day. We have a show every single day, every single weekend. Every time I'm talking about what to buy, what not to buy, how to navigate the market, what trades to do. This is why you follow us. This is why you subscribe to the channel. This is why you follow me on X. I'm not going to talk about that now. But what I'm going to talk about is that when you understand that there is the parabolic starting, which we understand now, you're going to make a lot of money. And when I make a lot of money, if you watch us and if you follow and, just use your common sense, you're going to make a lot of money. And that money will be overwhelming at times. And you will feel like a genius. You will think that you made it. Crypto is your life. You will quit your job, which is fine. But most of you, the reality is, unfortunately, is that most of you are not going to sell. And again, I remember myself thinking, you might be thinking the same thing watching. Oh my God, this dude is just, a KOL on YouTube. Who the fuck cares? Like, I'm going to sell. Of course I'm going to sell. If I'm going to make like 300%, 500%, of course I'm going to sell. Come on, bro. You're not going to sell. Why? Because this is how human nature works. Because if this is your first cycle, you're going to feel that you are immortal. You're going to feel that nobody can touch you and you're a genius. And so just remember this when we get to the points, and I'm going to show you why or what points I'm talking about and where I'm going to start taking profits very, very strategically. And then you can decide for yourself, okay? So I want to take a very data-driven approach. Why? Because a lot of times where you're a trader, and that is basically what differentiates professional and profitable traders and investors from complete noobs, is that we do not base trades on our emotions. It's not like, I feel like the market is going to go up. Whatever I tell you, I'm saying that the parabolic starts. I'm not saying because I have a feeling. It's not like thumb sucking. I'm saying, maybe the market is going to go, I don't know, I'm just going to buy something. No, I have data that backs up everything I say, historic data, historic experience, and I can say with confidence that the data shows that the highest probability for the next 3, 4, 5 months is an extreme growth in the market. So if I base everything on probabilities, which trading is about, then the obvious thing is to buy right now. So if you look at history, you will see this is 2012 halving, this is 2016 halving, 2020 halving, and 2024 halving. Now, one thing that already pops out here is this. So you have the halving, consolidation, massive pump, consolidation, massive pump, consolidation, massive pump. Okay, so it's kind of obvious. And we've seen this before. And the same thing here, but it's just so... This is also the other thing that's interesting. I've been here since 2016. I bought my first Bitcoin for $400. And if you look here, look at this. This here is actually a pump of 10,000% on Bitcoin. Okay, so from 2013, from $4 all the way up to $1,000. But if you zoom out, it's not even visible on the chart today. It's not even visible, but that was very real back then. And what I'm thinking is, again, 10 years from now, we're going to look at this and it's going to look like this. Bitcoin is going to go parabolic like this. We're going to hit 1 million and whatever. And it's going to look like this. And we're all going to sit here and think like, what did we even talk about back then? But it is relevant. So this is why I'm actually going back to those charts. But so if you look at the halving here, this is the halving year, okay? These are all the halving years. In general, there is an indicator that I use, and I don't use indicators. Okay, so this is specifically for exiting the market. It's called MVRV Z-score. Very data-driven, not lagging indicator that takes, very briefly, it compares Bitcoin price on-chain and at a time when it exchanged hands. So basically, this MVRV Z-score will show you the real value of Bitcoin. And based on that, it can calculate if it's overvalued or undervalued. And when it becomes way overvalued, it signals and tells you that the market top is in. Now, it's very simple. I tweeted about this MVRV Z-score. There's a link in the description to my X profile. If you go down there, it's very top, follow Fefe on X. And if you click on there, this is going to come up for you, so you will be able to get access to it. There's a bunch, but this is what I use. This is what I would recommend you use. And if you're there on my X, make sure to follow. It's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And you will need it for the next 6 months. So anyway, I put this on the chart here. This is not an indicator on the chart. I manually put it on. But if you look, and this is what I want to show you. So this was so accurate from 2013 that it got you out in 2013 after the halving. It literally got you out on the very top. On the week where the top was set, the MVRV Z-score got you out. If you go lower here, and if you go further here, 2017, it got you out 1 week before. That means you probably have missed about 20% pump on Bitcoin, but it protected you from an 85% downside. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Then you go further here, and then you look at 2021. 2021 was interesting because it got you out almost at the top. So when it came to April, May, it got you about 11% lower than the market top was, which is nothing, but it got you out about 2 months before. So you didn't have to weather through this whole 40-50% drawdown. And even if you wanted to say, okay, but I didn't get out on top, whatever, I would have missed about 23-30% on pump on Bitcoin, but you would have to wait almost 270 days just to get back to break even and then get there. So if you ask me, yes, it would have gotten you out early, but I wouldn't even care because it was perfect. All these gains that you've made from the halving all the way up here, 600%, you don't care about a 30%. Now, what does this all mean? In general, this is one of the main things that I'm going to use for exit. This is going to be a great confluence. There are other things. And one of the things is that usually you can see that the top from the halving, and I did this analysis as well, the top from the halving is between 52 and 78 weeks. So 55 to 78 weeks. In 2013, from the halving to the very top, it was 52 weeks. In 2017, the top from the halving was 75 weeks. If you look in 2021, the top in 2021 March was 48 bars, 48 weeks, and then 78 weeks if you look at the November high. So if you want to take the MVRV Z-score, and if you want to take under consideration the timing between 52 to 78, you would put the market exit to between May and October. And that made me wonder that there is a saying that says, sell in May, go away. Okay, so that made me wonder, and I wanted to see how did sell in May, go away performed in halving years. And it actually performed fantastically. So if you look back here, zoom in here, it's so small. But if you look back here in 2013, you would be basically at break even. Although if you went away, you could have bought at like 30-40% discount. Meanwhile, you were gone the entire summer. So this is 2013 May, and this is 2013 September. And the idea is to sell in May and come back in September when the institutions come back in institutional money. And it's even more true now that institutions are involved with Bitcoin than it was previously. But if you look here, this is what it would have been in 2013. And then the Parabolic started in September, October. Very, very similar pattern. Here in 2017, 1 year after the halving, you sell in May, you would have been out at about, let me show you here. So let's say you sell in May, right? You sell in May and you really miss the very top. So like you sell the very bottom of May and you miss the very top in September, you would have been about 100%, you would have missed about 100% move. But if you really want to be, when do you sell in May and when do you buy back in September, you would probably have missed out over 20%. But even if you missed out 100%, you had your entire summer, and the Parabolic started when? In September. 500, 600%. So if you look at 2021 after the halving year, there was a massive sell-off here. I'm talking 50% sell-off in 2021, okay? So if you would have sold in May, came back in September, you would not only have been in profit, but you wouldn't have to deal with all the shit show that's been going on throughout the summer. So if you consider all this, and you consider the 𝗨𝗦𝗡𝗦 may go away, and you consider the halving, and you consider the MVRV Z-square, and you consider the top from the halving, the best strategy to exit is the following. Now, this can change. So this can change anytime. It's important for you to know. This can change anytime. And I'm not saying this is going to be the strategy forever. But for now, this is my strategy. 55 bars to 55 weeks is, I believe, the minimum when you should start. If you start early, layering out earlier, you might miss the last 3 months, which is 80% of the gains, whatever, 50% of the gains made the last 2-3 months. So I will start layering out aggressively at the 55 weeks bar. That means that I will sell about 10%, 10-15% every week in May. I'm going to sell until then as well. From January on, I will take some profits on all these pumps up, but most I'm going to do that on my leverage account. This is exactly why I have a leverage account that I'm trading. This is why I share my trades as well. And you accumulate dollars there, which is great, but my spot account, I don't really want to start taking profits in January. I want to start taking profits April, May. So about May, end of April and beginning of May, I'm going to start taking profits on my spot accounts aggressively. So that means every week I'm going to take 10-15% profits. And I'm going to do that until the middle or the end of May, right? So I'm going to take about 30-40% off the table by then. I'm going to continue to do so if the dump comes, fine. But if there is a pump in the summer, fine. So I'm going to continue to do so. And I'm going to take about 60-70% of profit by May, June off my spot portfolio. Again, this can change depending on the market conditions, depending on what Trump does. If there is going to be a Bitcoin national reserve, there's a lot of things that can change. But in general, this is from the historic data. This is what I'm looking at. So by June-ish, so about 4 weeks, I'm going to be out with about 50-60%, 50-70% of my portfolio. Then, as we've seen in the halving years, there was nothing in the summer. 1 year after the halving, there's nothing happening in the summer. And Q4 is very, very strong. That means that I will start getting back in around September 1st. So when September comes, throughout September, I'm going to start accumulating. And by October, mid-October, I want to be back into the market if the market structure shows so. Okay, so I'm not saying that I'm just going to do it either way. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say what the market structure is showing me now. If we're going to see something like this, I'm just saying something, right? On the weekly chart. And we see this on the weekly and we start coming down. And then we see a market structure shift here on the weekly when we get here. I am going to start deploying heavily. Okay, it's going to be a fast deployment depending on what the weekly chart is showing me. But if we see a reversal on the weekly chart, that means that there's another echo as we've seen previously coming, and I want to be in that. Okay, so that's going to be like the cherry on top. But the exit strategy is very important. No matter what gains you make, you have to start layering out, in my opinion, mid-April throughout May, June-ish. And by June, mid-June, you should be mostly out of you should have taken most of the profits that you wanted to take anyway. And then, again, if the market structure shows, it is worth layering back in September, October. I hope this makes a lot of sense. I have some guidance and I have some tips for you. Again, nothing I say is financial advice, obviously, but I have some tips for you that I wish I knew previously as well throughout this next 6 to 8 months. One is you have to plan the trade and you have to trade the plan. I'll say it again. You have to plan the trade and you have to trade the plan. Now, if you look at this, this is a plan. I planned the trade and I will trade the plan. And the plan includes a change, a possibility of change if the national reserves comes in. If there is, the market structure changes. If there is a market structure shift here, I'm going to get back in. But you have to have, and sit down and spend time on this, have to have a plan. What do you want to achieve with this bull market? Is there a certain amount that you want to get at the end of the bull? If you hit that amount, are you going to get out? Or are you going to still ride it? When you get to May, are you prepared to actually sell? Even if you just made 80% profit because you played it wrong. Or are you going to get mentally attached? Are you going to put up a wallpaper and just scratch the days off as how many days there is left from the bull market? You have to plan what you want to do, what you want to achieve in the next 6 to 8 months, and execute on that every single day. Okay? Very important. 2, take risks. Now, I want to avoid people coming back here and just screaming at me and be like, you told me to take risk and I put it. So Obviously not financial advice. I'm going to share with you what I've done and how it turned out. So in 2016, when I realized the potential in Bitcoin, I took a student loan and I poured it all into crypto and I made a 25x on that. So was it stupid? No. The only stupid thing about it was that I didn't sell. That was literally the only stupid thing about taking a loan. I'm not saying you should take a loan, but I'm saying that if you are young, if you're in your 20s, whatever that is, 30s, depending on what life circumstances you have, and you're looking at this, you might have options of taking student loans. You might have options of not needing a Prada, I don't know, whatever code or what. I don't have expensive stuff. None. Some, but not, I'm not like a lavish guy. I don't have like very expensive stuff. Why? Because everything is in the market. You don't need all these fancy clothes, fancy shoes, fancy phone, you don't need that. Focus, lock in, and make sure to take risks. This is the time to take risks. It's not the time when everybody else will start taking risks in May and October next year when I'm going to tell you to get out of the market. That's going to be too late. And yes, it is scary because we don't know. Nobody knows if this stuff is real. We just have data that we rely on. We might mark the top and we might just go down from here. We don't know. But if you base everything on probabilities, this is the time to take fucking risk, bro. This is the time to go all in. And that leads me to my next point, which is take your sources seriously and go all in on crypto. And when I mean all in, I'm not only referring to all in as in like financially, all in as effort. In 2017, the biggest mistake I made, again, other than not selling, was that I did not take crypto seriously. And this is why I didn't sell. I was just like, I have this thing, 25x is awesome. Like I have so much money I've been spending and whatever is like awesome. But I didn't really take it seriously. I didn't watch shows. I didn't follow people. I didn't, like none. You have to delete Instagram, delete all the shitty app that you use. Don't use, you don't watch OnlyFans and all that shit that distracts you. Make sure, I was sitting at the cinema the other night, or not the theater. And there was a guy next to me and he opened up his phone and there was Tinder, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, all this shitty notification came in. And I opened my phone and it was like X, Banter Bubbles, CoinGecko, Dex tools, like everything that is relevant. Make sure that you lock in. Do this for yourself, for your family, for your future self. Lock in for the next 6 to 8 months. And I promise you, you're going to come out as a much more, I would say much wealthier, but much more experienced guy as well. Lock in. This is the time. And select your sources. I think it's very important. People always complain on the fact, I knew I shouldn't have listened to this and that. If you do not get, I see people commenting on my videos to get to the point. Bro, don't watch my videos if you don't like them. You don't have the luxury of watching videos that do not give you value. You don't. You don't have the luxury of not following people on freaking social media that do not provide you with value. You had enough motivation. Yeah, I'm following this guy because I see the lifestyle. Fuck that, bro. Fuck that. You've seen that. You know that lifestyle. Now you got to go and get it. This is the time to go and get it. Okay? So lock in, filter out who you follow, when you follow, and follow them closely. A lot of people I write everything on my X. Like I literally share with you everything I do. Every step I take on the market, I share it with you. Here, turn on notifications. If you resonate with what I'm saying, turn on the notifications. Here's my charts, I'm telling you. Turn on notifications and follow and see and learn. Because if you just have all the information from everybody, the man who is chasing 3 rabbits catches none. Anyway, I think I talked about this too much, but it's very important, and it's very, very important, close to my heart, that you lock in, you understand the importance of fucking locking it now. Lock in now. Delete everything. Tell your family, tell your friends, hey, 6 to 8 months, I'm not here. I'm working from 85 and from 5 to 1, I'm in crypto. I'm doing crypto because that's what I'm doing. Anyway, practical things. Do not chase and do not gamble. So a lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to, now you see this and you're fired up and you're going to be excited and this and that. And then you're like, so now I have to like Now I have to get to it. And then you're going to start chasing everything. You're going to start buying memes, and you're going to get into AI agents, and you're going to buy the OG memes, OG coins, but these won't move. So you're going to rotate out to some new narrative that you're going to get rogged, and then you're going to go into DeFi and start staking and airdrop farming, but then you're going to mess up the wallets and you're going to lose some money there. Screw that. Screw all that. You don't need to do that. Don't use high leverage. Make sure you can get liquidated. Don't have these tight stop loss, try and time in the market. Screw that. That's not the time. That's for the choppiness. Buy and hold. Buy 2x, 3x leverage positions and hold them. And when you have a little dip, every time you have a 70% pump, add to it. Leverage up, add to it. Not leverage up, but add to your position. Use your profits to add to it. Increase your entry price. I'm talking about this all that on the show and on X as well, but I don't want to spend time on this. But this is the time to not rotate and not jump. And of course, have like 20% of your cash, 10% of your cash, and start playing around. Do this, do that, follow AI agents and memes, and fine. But in general, lock the F in. Have a portfolio, have a trading account, and just go with it and ride the next 6 months. Follow the news, follow the information, implement the information, and concur. Basically, that's what it is. Guys, I think I don't even know where we are in the show now. It's 26 minutes, not even that much. But it really came from the bottom of my heart. I really, really resonate with this. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, I'm really the chartist who goes down onto the 1 minute chart, and then I take a 30x leverage position, and I take, Ren always picks on me about this, but I take a 30x leverage position, I take a 1.5, 2% move, 30, 35, 40%, and I'm done, I'm happy. But this is not the time to do that. We're going to do this on the bear market. We're going to do this throughout the choppiness. Now is the time to lock in, look at narratives, invest your money, start taking 2 to 3 to 5x leverage positions, make sure not get liquidated, and simply wait it out and change your life. This is the opportunity. And the reason why I feel so passionate about this is because I've been where you are now. If you're class 2024, if you haven't been in the bull market, you probably bought the top, you're down on your positions. Do not fucking worry. Don't worry. I'm telling you, it's coming. Just the only question is, can you outlast the crisis? That's the only question. Everything in life. Can you outlast the crisis? The crisis is the dump now. Yes, the market is bearish. Yes, we're dumping. Yes, we might go down another 20%. Who the fuck cares? No one cares. All right? Because we have the parabolic run coming, and we're going to be on that train. And if you give in earlier, or you get liquidated earlier, or you rotate too early and jump from one token to another, and you get rugged, and you get, then you're not going to make it. So be level-headed, follow the news. One of the best places, by the way, is to follow the news is Banter Bubbles. It's a completely free tool of ours. There's a phone application I can show you. There's a phone application that you can download as well. There's a link in the description. And we post news here. This is how it looks. Let me see here. So this is how it looks. Look at this. This is how it looks. You can literally just scroll through, and these are real people posting real information, real alpha that you can make money out of. I made tens of thousands of dollars from this feed alone. So anyway, guys, I truly appreciate you. Make sure to follow me on X. Very, very important. Again, I want to help you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We come here every single day with the best alpha. Make sure to not screw this up. And remember that you have 6 to 8 months left of this bull market. Happy New Year. I wanted to say Merry Christmas, but Happy New Year. Appreciate you watching. I'm super excited for this year. A lot of things coming. I'm going to be here. I'm going to guide you through. And if you're coming on the journey, I salute you. Thanks so much for watching. Truly appreciate you. And I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.